Thoughts never spoken, feelings never prices, truth never voiced. Welcome to the Unspoken Voices podcast with Chuck Ellis, where the rubber meets the road and the unspoken finds its voice. This is more than a podcast. This is a space for the thoughts you've been holding in, the conversation you've been avoiding, the feelings you've been struggling to explain. It's a platform for honesty, a safe place for courage, and voice for those who haven't found theirs yet. Here we don't run from real life. We face it. Whether you're calling in to share your story or listening because you're not ready to speak yet, this platform was built for you. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's really going on. This is the Unspoken Voices podcast.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing today? Right now I'm very excited. Y'all see I'm very excited? I'm very excited. We have a special guest coming on today at the Unspoken Voices podcast. And I've been talking about this young lady all week. And my conversation with her has just took me to it. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her. I'm excited to have her here. And I think this young lady has so much to offer, so much to say, so much that people can learn from. So again, welcome to the Unspoken Voice podcast. And as usual, I am your host with the most, Chuck Ellis. And as we always do, we get started. We make sure that we want to thank the Lord for bringing us here. We want to give him our deepest and sincerest appreciation and honor and love for giving us breath in our bodies, for allowing us to be able to live and do right, give us another day to get right. So I want to thank him for everything. Thank him for good health. Thank him for even bad health. Because life is worth living. And when we live it, we do it to the best of our ability to honor him. So I thank y'all for coming. We thank the Lord for having us here. And let's get started. And in keeping, I still want to give a shout out. Y'all already know who I give a shout out to, my sponsors. And definitely, I still am sponsored by the one and only, the Loft Barbershop in Romeoville, Illinois. And like I say, hey, if you're in the area, I'm telling you right now, you go on either my Facebook page or you go on here and you put in the comments, the Loft. A randomly selected individual will get a free service, free haircut at the barbershop. So don't miss out on the opportunity. Get it done. Okay. Next up, I'd like to give a shout out to my other sponsors. Hold on. All right. Their shout out is done. I had that moment. They had that moment. There's nothing less to say about that. When y'all ready, you come on the board. Start while we're at the bottom, because when we get to the top, y'all gonna have to call me. Text me or something like that. All right, with no further ado, I'm going to bring my young lady on and let her introduce herself, because I think that she deserves a platform in order to be able to do that. You ready? Here we go.
Hi.
Hey. You ready? Are you ready for this spotlight?
I am.
You look ready. That's what I'm talking about. Like I said, I've been talking about you all day. I wanted to sit back. Look, I wanted to sit back and say, you know what? I'm just going to give you the framework and be like, man, she can handle it.
Thank you.
That's all good. So here we go. I'm giving you an opportunity because I was going to bring you in and I was going to do all your accolades, right? But why should I take the shine from you? I want you to give your own accolades and tell the people, tell the world who you are.
Well, I'm Kalia. I am 18 years old. I am a college freshman this year, and I will be a sophomore in the fall of 2026. I'm a biochem major. I'm a business owner. I'm a poet. Um, I do a lot of things, really. I'm a woman of God. I love the Lord, and I follow Him avidly. It's pretty much me. Um, Aside from what I do, you know,
Okay.
I do love the Lord, as I said. Um, I'm a bit of an ambivert, so I'm introverted with extroverted qualities. So I can
Okay.
definitely hold a good conversation, but I like to be by myself sometimes for sure. And I'm a creative person. I like to create new things. I like to see new things. I like to see people grow. So I try to put myself in the best environment to see people thrive and to see people do well. That's something that brings me great joy, especially with what I do and what I'm going to do in the future. Um, so yeah.
I'm proud of you already.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, you talk about biochem. I'm like, come on, man. I just barely passed science. You talking about biochem? I'm like on science. That's all I want. Science. That's different for me. But like I say, it's a new age, new time, and hey, you very intelligent, very well spoken young lady. I'm
Thank you.
glad and fortunate that I was able to meet you because
Well, thank you.
what I think is I think that you have so much to offer. And when we initially met, it was in my mind when I saw you. I'm like, wow, what are these young ladies actually doing at this event? And like, okay, well, what brought you down here? Things of that nature. But the environment itself, the college environment, because you have a lot to talk about. By you being a freshman, just going in, and I don't know, like, what you in sport, what you was doing in high school, how you came out of high school, and things of that nature. But in the element of thinking about college, what was like one of the biggest shocks to you when you was coming to enter college?
Um, One of the biggest shocks to me would definitely have to be what college looks like. And I know that sounds like a very large statement,
Mhm.
but college on TV is nothing like college in real life. Like
Really?
nobody, like I've said this multiple times, not even school, not even high school prepared me for college. And so you have to be prepared when you go to college to be independent. And so they say, oh yeah, independence, independence, but there's truly nobody that can do it but you and God. And so for me, the hardest thing that the biggest culture shock to me was knowing that, okay, like I'm in charge of making sure I get up in the morning. I'm in charge of making sure that I do my homework. I'm in charge of making sure I talk to these professors so they know what's going on, where I'm going to be at if I'm not in class. Um, and so that's one of the biggest things you have to know going into college is that you have to be on your P's and Q's when you get there.
So that's saying like, you know what? This real life now.
Yes.
So and I get it. So like, okay, so now when you getting that feeling, when did it hit you? I mean, like when did it hit you like, man, this is really real?
It hit me early. It hit me within my first week of college because instead of being a commuter, I was a resident. And so my people dropped me off at school. And I had to be okay with like, wow, like I can't go lay in my mama's bed like I used to. I can't go bother my brother because it's truly just me and God here in this room. And I had to be okay with that that was where God was taking me and that's where he was putting me. And that this was his will, even though it was hard, even though it didn't look like what I was used to.
Okay. So in doing that, like did they give you I'm gonna say I wouldn't say a sense of isolation, but when you finally realized it was just you, was that an empowering moment, or was it a fearful? How did you take that?
I definitely cried. My first, like it didn't hit me the first day, it didn't hit me the second day. That third day though, I
Okay.
cried them tears. I'm not gonna lie. But I did, it has its moments. When you go to college, I feel like the biggest important thing to create when you get there is community. And so when I got here, I found friends and it made me not feel isolated. Now sometimes you'll have your moments like when them assignments is kicking your butt, you gonna feel it.
Okay.
But I know that I have a community that I can lean on when I'm here if I can't get to the ones that I know are outside of my school. I have friends that I can call and like, hey y'all, I'm struggling. Or does anybody know how to help me with this assignment? And so that I think that's very important for anybody going to college or anybody that has a college student, that you know who you're connecting yourself with, because who you connect yourself with will truly determine your time at college. If you connecting yourself with people that only go drink and party, that's all that's going to be around you. You're not going to want to get up and do your homework. You need to connect yourself with people that want to get up, they want to do well, they want to grow, they're motivated to get up, grow, do their homework, and they realize that they came to college with a purpose.
Okay. So in doing that, okay, so now that you said that, how did you go about selecting those individuals that you choose or you chose to want to be in your circle, be your circle at the moment?
So I really just, me personally, everybody, I feel like I don't hate anybody. And so I find myself in groups with different kinds of people and I get to know different kinds of people. And so you're going to meet most people at college. And it's just deciding like, hey, do these person's values match up with my values? Do their morals match up with my morals? Because there's people that I started off with friends at college in my first semester and they're not my friends second semester. So it's deciding like who has my best interest at heart. And if you think they have your best interest at heart and you find out that they don't, get rid of them, because they truly will determine it will determine the length, that it will determine your time at college. If you see something that you don't like if you see you got friends that ain't getting up and going to class, you can encourage them, yeah, but distance yourself, because then so will you become one day a person that does not get up and go to class.
Okay, so you'll I guess if you don't have a strong mentality, you'll assimilate to what your other people are doing on a negative aspect of it.
Yes, for sure.
So, I get that, and I want to take a brief second for anybody that's in the comment section, and y'all have children that are getting ready to go to college, and they're not listening. Then definitely keep this, because we're going to be discussing things that y'all need to hear in order to deal with what may or may not happen at the time when they go. Because when you first went, they just dropped you off, boom, right? I know you was enthused about college, but did you ever think of that? You know what? I just wanted to walk away. I'm not. When you cried, did you not want to be? When you cried, did you not want to be
You
there?
know, it happens at times, especially like when them assignments is kicking your butt and you can't go call mom because mama can't do that assignment for you. Mama can't
Mhm.
email that teacher and let that teacher know you need an extension. You definitely sometimes feel like you want to throw in the towel, but it's important to remember that I was placed here for a purpose. I feel like that's my biggest um plus, was that I remembered, one, that this was God's way of fulfilling his promise to me, and two, I knew I had a community outside of school. So if I couldn't get a hold of my friends, there was people outside of my parents that I can call on. Within my church has been my biggest supporter in this whole entire um aside from my family, in this whole entire experience, to where if I don't feel comfortable talking to my mom, or I can't talk to my mom, or I don't think my mom knows what I'm dealing with, there were people who are around my age, people that were older than my age, that I can call on. They can get to me if they needed to, if my mama couldn't. They can give me sound advice. And I think that's one of the biggest things that made my mom comfortable with just dropping me off, because she didn't cry, but I did. Was
She might have
that
cried later.
my mama was excited to drop me off, man. I was like, you could just pretend to cry. Like, what's wrong with that?
What?
Because she
Okay.
knew I was safe. Like, I have family. My aunt lives in Naperville. I have family that live in Lisle. And so I'm here and I'm not too far from home. But even if I was
Okay.
far from home, there's always somebody I can call that's going to make sure they give me sound advice, make sure I have what I need. And the Lord provides too. And so there was no reason for my mom to be scared about me being here. And I can still call my mom. I call my mom literally every week. Almost every day I call my mom. Even my friends know my mom. And I think that's really important too, is when parents are involved in their kids' life. I'm comfortable with going to my mom, talking to my mom. My friends call my mom mom. My mom did cook meals for all of us when we was hungry. They'd be like, hey, your mama cooking this weekend? Yeah, man, what you want? So
Right.
I think that's very important when that my mom was involved in this whole college experience, because it not only helped me, but it helped my classmates too in this
Okay.
whole ordeal.
So that's like raising a village. That's like a
Yeah.
village.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, so when you think about that, and it's twofold, because I see you have a strong foundation in your faith. So with that being said, and being at your age, and you're going into that college environment where you have a lot of different things pulling you left and right.
Hmm.
Okay, so are you? I would say that sometimes, or I would say this question: sometimes you feel like sometimes you feel like you're trying to succeed,
Hmm.
but are you also trying to belong?
So that happens, yes. And there are some times where I do feel like I'm pulling myself in the direction where I want to belong. There are strong morals that I had when I walked in here, and I still have because I'm a woman of God. However, sometimes you just want to do what everybody else doing. Like if everybody else not doing their homework, and we just vibing out downstairs when we know we got to get up and go to class tomorrow, you want to do that sometimes. Like I got to be honest.
Okay,
But with me, I knew I've always known that I wasn't like everybody else. And so that conviction hit me fast. And so I go,
okay,
okay, yeah, it's time for me to get out of this room, time for me to get out of that room. Like if everybody partying and drinking and smoking, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get up and leave the room. And
right,
two, you have to realize if you stay in the room, not only are you giving yourself permission to come into agreement with whatever's going on in that room, but you're also giving yourself permission to you're giving the things that are happening in that room permission to continue to go on. Like my friends know I don't drink, I don't smoke. That's a moral I came in with, and that's a moral I'm leaving with. And so they know that Kalia's not comfortable with it, so they don't do it around me out of respect for me. And I don't
okay,
do it because I have a respect for God and I have a respect for my body, amongst other things that have happened in my life and people that I know, that I don't do those things. And so for me, it's important to the morals I had then, I'm gonna have now, because I know I'm a critical thinker, and so I don't just think in the moment. I think what's gonna happen in the future, how that's gonna affect me in the future. And so it's important that people learn how to critically think and how to weigh their options, because some just because it sounds good don't mean it is good, and it's going to
okay.
bring some impact later.
Man, you know, I'll say they all smiles. Look here, it's such a breath of fresh air,
Thank
and
you.
to just hear you exude this aura, and I'm like, man, you age beyond your years, and I'm like, get it. So as we dive into this, and I'm definitely going to touch. I have to touch on it because like when we dive into it, you are facing some battles in your environment.
Mhm.
One, you're a woman of faith. You're a Christian. That's one. Two, you're a black female, right? So
Mhm.
now you fighting on both sides. But how does that look, or how does that look from your perspective in your current environment?
For me, I think the biggest tool that I gave myself in order to combat those things is getting involved. And so I made sure that when I came into college, people knew me. And I didn't make sure, God made sure that they knew me. Getting
Mhm.
involved in college, student council, student senates, making sure you reach out to your professors. You talk to your professors first. I made sure that if my professors had office hours, I went. If my professors didn't know me, they knew me. I sent emails, because when people know you, they're willing to speak up for you. And
Mhm.
so I didn't have to deal with the issues with me being a student. I didn't have to deal with the issues of me being a woman or a black woman, because I made sure I connected myself with people that had influence in the school. The dean of this school knows me. The
Okay.
dean knows me. And so people were beginning to give me opportunities and be like, hey, sign up for this, fill out that, to make sure that I had scholarships, to make sure I had opportunities, to make sure doors were open, research opportunities that'll help progress my career in the future. And so now, being a woman of faith is definitely one of the biggest challenges I faced in school, because
Speak
you
on it.
have all of these different personalities, all of these different faiths, all these different beliefs, from atheists all the way to Protestant, and they're going to all test you and they're going to all push your buttons. But you have to know the faith and the foundation that you have is stronger than all of those things. I just recently somebody posted, so there's this community app that they have where you can post on there anonymously and say whatever you want to say, basically.
Okay.
Somebody posted that they had a Ouija board in their room. Oh, that's crazy. And so you come in contact with these people, and sometimes you don't even know you in contact with these people.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't have a strong foundation in your morals, your values, what you believe in God, they can truly sweep you away. Like I've seen people come to college so strong, and now you don't even know who they are because they don't have that strong foundation.
So they lost their total identity from when they first came in. They got absorbed, they got consumed.
Yeah.
Wow. That's that's powerful because I mean, and I'm giving it all to you, but I'm just thinking like, and this is what I would say, and this will I pause for 1 second because I want to make sure I word this properly, right? So if you would say to every young person watching or listening to you right now, right?
Hmm.
This is the first thing. This is the first question because we got it together. But what is something that you're going through that you feel like nobody would understand?
Mm,
And and before you go, the reason why I asked that is this because I mean I know you got it together. God got
I
your
try.
back. You got it together. But that is a fallacy sometimes that we see on the outside because you have it. You appear to have it, right?
Hmm.
And now, as parents or individuals looking, we don't see those underlying things that when the door closed and the lights go out and you're there, that you're still dealing with things. And these things that you deal with, they may not be readily to be able to discuss or things like that. So if it is, you can discuss it. But even if not, if it's a method that you use in order to, I would say, handle it or cope with it, what advice one would you give someone that's listening now? And if you feel like sharing it, if it's something that you feel as though is important to share that you may be going through that people don't or you don't think that people understand, then I'm definitely gonna give you the opportunity to go ahead and speak on that as well.
100%. I feel like my biggest thing that people would not know is that I struggle and have struggled for a long time with self image problems. And so because I look like I have it all together on the outside, I'm panicking on the inside. I'm overthinking everything on the inside. I'm asking myself, do I belong in this room? Do I belong in this space? Do I belong in this? Is this really God? Especially with me being a girl, I've played sports my whole life, and a lot of the sports that I play are contact sports. And so those are male dominated areas. And a lot of times I felt like I didn't belong there, even though I had the athleticism to prove that I belonged in those rooms. And so even with this podcast, I wasn't going to do it and I wasn't going to tell anybody that I was going to be on here, but I had to know, and especially with my community too, they've always made sure I knew that I was worthy of whatever room the Lord put me in. And so that's very important to me. And a coping mechanism for me is that one, your community is people that support you, people that affirm you, people that not affirm you in a sense that they give you validation, but if the Lord is like, hey, give her a reminder that she can do it, they'll do it. um and two, affirming yourself. The scripture, there's so many scriptures that says, even Philippians, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And so me reminding myself who God created me to be is one of the biggest coping mechanisms that I have. And two, pushing myself that extra mile to go do what he told me to do, because he gave me the ability and the worth and the credentials to do so.
You see me, right? I told you, but this is the way in which you present it is definitely on point because as we speaking now, you're not just speaking to me, you're speaking to those that are coming behind you because now you're in a position, you are a leader, whether you want to be or not. You know,
Sometimes I be thinking about it.
you are a leader and you're leading by example, but you also got to understand that in your environment, you're being watched when you don't think you're being watched. People are recognizing you when you don't think you're being recognized. And that recognition may come and a shock later on down the line where you may get something and it may come that you don't know. But hey, that's what you're building yourself up for. And I'm stuck, man. I'm like, you was doing your thing, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So as we go further down the line, like I said, like your mother dropped you off and your parents dropped you. Okay, so what is the truth? One of the truths about college life that people don't talk enough about, but it needs to be said. I mean, like, wow, like something about the college life that you in it now.
Yeah, for sure.
You in it, so you seeing things that some of us will never ever see.
Um, some of the truths about college, honestly, if you don't care, they don't care. And so if
Ooh,
you don't stand up for yourself, if you don't speak up for yourself, somebody else will. And I've seen this happen in college where students will take on these leadership, like I'm in student council, I mean student senate. So I have the ability to um get stuff done for students in the sense that we vote on what goes on in our schools. And so if you're not in those positions and in those rooms where they make those decisions, or you're not able to communicate with those people that have the ability to make decisions for you, they will make decisions and you'll have to abide by them. And so it's very, very important that you take an active part in your education. It's important that you talk to who's in charge. It's important that you know the dean, you know all your professors, they know you by face. It's important that you have a reputation that they can talk about when you're not in the room. That's very important, because if you don't, they will make policies, they will make rules that don't benefit you, and you have to be okay with it. And now you're faced with situations like, do I leave, do I stay, how do I go about this? And especially with the time that we're in now as students,
mhm.
like my school right now has the biggest population of African American students that they've had in years. And so a lot of times they don't know how to handle black kids because they've never had to deal with black kids. And so they
Okay,
make rules, and the black kids like, okay, where that come from? And they're like, well, we've been trying to tell you to fill out this form, fill out this survey, give us your feedback on this, and you didn't. And now you're upset that these are the rules and the policies that we're putting in place. Or
okay,
how people don't stand up for themselves, and when they get disciplinary actions, it's overkill. Like, why is it because I was out past curfew, I didn't got suspended for 2 weeks, but Becky was over there in John's room past curfew, and she only got a talking to because you didn't stand
mhm.
up for yourself. You let them do that to you. And so when you don't speak up for yourself, they do what they want because they can.
Right. And wow, wow, and that's a big dynamic now in college. But you mentioned if if you don't care, they don't care.
They don't.
So
Professors will let you fail if you don't reach out to them. You'll just be
and you
like,
know
oh,
what
I
got
was
me,
dropped from this class. Yes, because you didn't reach out.
and you know what got me about what you were saying. It took me into current day politics, voting, being aware of what's going on politically. The African American voice in politics and positioning. And like you said, the school that you're currently in is just receiving its greatest number of African American students, and they never dealt. They don't know how to do. Now, how in the world? Now I'm thinking this day and age, right?
Mm-hmm.
That a college of that magnitude don't know how to deal with African Americans.
So the problem is my school is a Catholic private school. And so everybody in this area are either the upper middle class, like the school we're partnered with
Hmm.
is a preparatory school. It's a private um uh high school. And
Okay,
so everybody in this neighborhood look like each other. Their paychecks look like the next person's paychecks. And so a lot of the kids that we're seeing coming in now are from Chicago, from the CPS schools, from the lower income schools, because there's more FAFSA dollars coming here than would have been at SIU or any other colleges. And so these kids are coming here because there's more scholarship opportunities, because they're trying to make back some of the money they lost a while ago from
right.
COVID. And
Okay,
so they don't know how to deal with the black kids from the CPS schools, the black kids from the low income schools, because they're typically used to seeing the Indian students. We have a large population of Southeast Asian students, because it's this school's biggest focus is healthcare. And so
Okay.
we get a lot of students going to dental school and stuff like that. And so they don't know how to deal with this larger population of students that they've never really had to encounter before,
Okay.
because the demographics are different. CPS schools look a lot different than schools in Lisle or schools in Naperville, because it's a different criteria in those neighborhoods.
Wow. And that puts you in a very um, critical position, almost grassroots, because you're part of a elite group of individuals going into an environment that is not particularly ready for you, right? So in doing so, that's a lot to deal with. That's a lot to deal with. This what I'm gonna do for you, right? One thing, because I'm gonna give you this moment because I had this question burning me up. And no, look, I'm sitting there with questions. I'm like, man, this question burning me up, right? But it ain't really burning me up because I just think that you would have a very profound answer
Okay.
to the question. All right. So
Okay.
now, and then when I do it, that's what I'm gonna do. Because you about to be the poster for early college submission. You will be the poster child. You know what I mean? They be like, man, Khalil said that. But they better not talk to their parents like that. But they can be like, yo, you said it. No pressure though, right? No pressure.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Here we go. If Let me breathe it again. All right. If you could sit down
Mm-hmm.
face to face with every parent watching
Mm-hmm.
right now, well, not right now, but watching it. They're gonna watch it because some people tune in later. But if you could sit down with every parent face to face that's gonna watch this,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say they still and may not understand about what their children are going through
Mm-hmm.
when they go to college? Now, this is what I'm gonna do, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna pop myself down because you need to talk to the parents because you giving a voice, you giving a face and a voice to your peers, but to their parents.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? And I think you're the right person to do it. So I'm gonna take myself down. I'm gonna give you a platform to speak your truth about what the parents don't know, what they should know about what their children are going through from guess who? Miss Johnson perspective.
Okay. Um, what I think parents should know is, one, always check up on your child. I feel like the biggest encouragement my mom has given me is constantly asking me how I'm doing, what's going on, making sure that I wasn't left here by myself completely. And so, even though I don't get it right all the times, and I may not tell my mom everything, but she makes sure she calls. I know that if I need to, I can call her. It's with all of my family too. And making sure you have an active role in your child's academics. Even if you don't know what their grades are, you're not in school with them, make sure you call them all the time. You're asking them, like, hey, you doing homework? Getting to know their friends. My friends know my mom because my mom calls all the time, and I'm comfortable with calling my mom in front of my friends. I'm comfortable with my friends talking to my mom because I know my mom gives sound advice. So making sure you know where your children are, what they're doing, and two, get them some grace, because sometimes it gets hard when we in college. Sometimes we just don't want to get up and go to class. But if they come to you and they like, mom, I messed up, my mom has never made me feel bad about slipping, if that makes sense, because it's not failure until you give up. And so encouraging your kids not to give up is important also. And one of the biggest things is making sure you form community with your kids before they go. Me and my mom's relationship was established way before I got to college. And so I was comfortable. She was comfortable, one, with leaving me at college, as I said before. And two, she knew who was around me. And so when I got my friends, she got to know them too. When I call my mama, she'd be like, where's this child at? Where's that child at? Because my mom formed a community with my mom put herself in my community. My mom made sure she put aunts, uncles in place. My mom made sure she took me to church every Sunday, all the Wednesdays too, because church is my family, and they have been the biggest support for me too in this, in as long as I've been in college. So making sure you create community, making sure you call and check up on your kids, making sure you aren't harsh with them, because sometimes our parents can say things because they want us to be greater than them and don't realize that it hurts us when it comes out of their mouth. And then that's where it begins, where the enemy begins to use those momentary mishaps to put tears in our relationships with our parents. And two, being comfortable with knowing not everything your child is going to tell you, but the Lord will, if he needs to tell you. So praying for your kids and making sure you're in tune with the Holy Spirit, because even when I don't tell my mama stuff, the Holy Spirit will be like, yeah, she doing XYZ is going on. And my mom will call me and I'll be like, yeah, no, you know. And so I think that's very, very important and very pertinent for college, for parents with kids going to college.
Man, that's a lot. That's a lot. You need to drink of water.
make sure I hydrated before.
Yeah, you need a drink of water. Because I mean, what you're saying is what a lot of people don't understand. And I would think that some parents may send their children off to college and be like, okay, God, you're on your own now. And you said a great part about it. You said, you know, that y'all wanting us to be better than y'all sometimes and put that pressure on us, and it hurts our feelings when we don't live up to it, right? So in that, like, do the parents' expectations actually match up with the reality of it?
In some instances, yes. In some instances, no. Like I feel like the end goal, yeah. Like my mom sent me to school to be a doctor. By the time I get done with my classes and stuff, I will be a doctor. So that expectation matches up. But I feel like sometimes our parents don't weigh the times that we're in according to who we are. And so my mom might be thinking about college when she went in the early 2000s, whenever that was, to now, and the times are different. And
Okay.
so what looked like college for her isn't college for me. And
Okay.
so she has the expectation of, oh, you're going to get all A's and B's. Okay, yeah. But the coursework now is different. And so
Okay.
sometimes you might slip and you might get a C. But it's
Okay.
okay because you can always try again. It's okay because you didn't give up. And so we're going to excuse the C and we're going to weigh our options. Okay, why did we get the C? How did this C come about? How are we going to change it for this next course? Okay, I didn't do well in this area of curriculum. I need to study this a little bit more so I can make sure I catch it on the next exam or in the next class.
Okay. And that concept really don't come from your parents. That concept comes from you. You have
Yes.
to have that inward push to be able to want to do more and do better.
Yes.
You know, and that's a lot of pressure though. Do you feel pressure? Do you feel like you under a lot of pressure even when you start in school? Do you feel like that?
When I noticed myself feeling that pressure, it was always around times where I wasn't strong in my faith. Like if I knew I was doing stuff I had nobody's business doing, if I knew I wasn't talking to the Holy Ghost, I knew I wasn't talking to the Lord, those feelings definitely caught up with me. And they usually only catch up with you if you allow the thought. Your biggest enemy is going to be you. And I feel like this is conversations that I keep having in church, outside of church. If you allow the enemy in, he will walk in. He
Right.
will walk in. And
For
so
sure.
those ideas happen when those ideas come in, your biggest defense mechanism is to put the word on it, or to divert or get rid of those ideas, because the longer they sit, the more they will begin to take place. And I definitely felt pressures while I was here, but because I had community and I had people that loved me and people I knew were rooting for me and supporting me, I can then begin to say, okay, this is an inward battle. What do I need to do to make sure I can get over this hump? What do I need to get from the Lord to make sure I can get over this hump? Because I mean, the pressure is going to be there, but it's how you respond to the pressures that's important.
You need to put on the armor of the Lord.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Because them
Bro.
darts go come. For
Yeah.
sure.
And that's why I was asking the question, because it's like sometimes, you know, parents don't see the big picture. They just see what's in front of them. And like, I really brought you on because like I saw you. And that's a good question. That ain't a question, but that's a good phrase. I'm just popping up these things. A lot of people, a lot of children, I ain't gonna say children. I'm gonna say a lot of young adults in college. Uh, they don't feel seen and they don't feel heard. They just feel like they are expected to perform.
Hmm.
How would you rate that statement right there?
I've definitely felt that. I've definitely felt that emotion a lot of times. Um, for me, like I said, all of this comes back to community. And I've definitely felt those emotions and I've sat with those emotions and I've dwelled in those emotions. And it did cause some feelings of isolation where I was like, oh, man, I don't know if I can do it no more. I don't know if this degree worth it. But because I love God and because God loves me, He made sure that He put people in my corner to be like, hey, you can do it. Hey, that pressure ain't the fire ain't it may feel hot, but what comes after the fire is a lot better than the situation you in. It's a lot better than where you could be if you give up right now.
Okay. It gets greater later, but you gotta survive.
You got to
You
go
gotta
through.
survive the storm.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta go through the storm. And that's almost a part of the topic that we spoke about. And people are suffering in silence.
Hmm.
So you said you saw what you call it, an ambivert?
Yes.
So with that being said, you can speak to yourself and or about in general speaking, people or children or young adults.
Hmm.
Have you ever felt like that you suffered in silence? And that being said, it says closed mouths don't get fed. Talk to me.
So yeah, especially in college, when you, I think, especially for me and a lot of my friends, we put a lot of emphasis on we want our parents to see us being, and so we a lot of times don't tell what's going on, like the struggles that we having, the fact that we might not be able to get up to go to class because we just tired, or sometimes like I even have friends that like we in my friend group somebody is good for something. Like they come to me if they need some medicine, or if I got some food, they go to this person if they need a ride to work. And that's how we work. We give in our respective areas. And so sometimes when you don't speak up, like my friends know, call if you hungry, call me. Because if I didn't got it, I'm gonna call my mama and my mama gonna bring it to me. And so if you don't speak up, you hungry for the day. And that's not so. When somebody could be honestly trying to get something to you, but you didn't speak up and they have it to give, especially in college too. If you don't speak up for yourself while you're here, you miss out on a lot of opportunities. Like if you don't tell these people that you're struggling financially, they're not going to tell you what scholarships is open because they want you to speak up for yourself. If you don't tell people that you struggling mentally, there ain't nobody gonna want to help you. Ain't nobody gonna tell you, oh yeah, I get over this rut by going and taking a walk or whatever the case. If you don't tell people what's going on, and I talk to my friends about this all the time, and it's something that we all are learning together, because pride can come in and you like, oh, I don't want to tell this person that because I'm ashamed, or I don't want to be vulnerable, or whatever the case. Some of my greatest moments in college was me sitting down with my group of friends and us talking about what we done been through in life. And not only did it grow our friendships, but it showed us we weren't alone. And it
Mm.
showed us that I can go to this person for this because they understand and they can give me sound advice. And even outside of school, when I go to church, I might not talk all the time, but I know I have people that I can talk to. So if I know I'm struggling with something, look, XYZ is going on, I need your advice. They're going to give me sound advice because I said something. But if I
Mhm.
struggle with it in silence, I'm going to be bitter, I'm going to be angry, I'm going to be sad, and it's going to impact me in everything, what I eat, what I do, what I say, how I treat people. And it could be solved with just opening your mouth and speaking and letting people know XYZ is going on. I'm struggling with this. I didn't do great on this test or whatever the case. And people want to help people that ask for help. Like I've had teachers that I've been like, hey, look, I don't understand this curriculum. And they'll be like, okay, I got you. Come to my office hours or go speak to this tutor because this person is really good at this. But they wouldn't know that if you don't say that you need help in that area.
Right. And that, that I really wanted to bring it to the forefront because you're so honest with it. And that's like my guy Rex
I'm
said, you
learning
honest.
honesty. I'm learning.
Yeah. But the thing about it is a lot of people who have relatives, children, nieces and nephews and things that in college, they really don't see what these young adults are going through. And that could produce a lot of mental health issues inside the college with these children growing up. So I'm glad that you're honest and upfront about the information that you're providing. This is very, 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 very essential. And I want to take 1 second because we got people on here listening. And I'm talking to the people out here listening. This young lady is giving y'all some jewels, giving y'all information. And we want to do on this podcast, the Unspoken Voice podcast, we're going to do our due diligence to make sure that her voice matters, that her voice gets out there. So we want you to do, want you to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely share this episode and future episodes of the podcast with your friends and family because the information being provided is essential to the growth and development of yourself and your offspring. Um, and let's get to where you at. Let's get to some because I've been on you about this college, but that's what I think, and I think that's what we're here for. But tell me some things about your skincare products.
So I run a company called Anything But Skin LLC, and so what we specialize in my company is making natural skincare products that one heal the skin, repair the skin, and let the skin do what it's meant to do. The skin is one of your largest. The skin is the largest organ in your body. Think about that. Your skin lives. It's alive. It's an organ, and it protects you from on the inside from everything outside. And so when you leave your skin untreated, uncared for, it can't do everything that it's supposed to do, which is protect you. And so I created this company because I realized a lot of the products that we use,
Mhm.
we don't know what's in them. And because we don't know what's in them, we put them on our bodies and they're causing more harm inward than outward. And so they're, oh, I got this lotion. This lotion got 19,000 chemicals in it, and all of them cause cancer. And so you don't realize that you're sick because you've been using this lotion your whole life and it causes cancer. And so I started this company with the intent to give people one, an affordable way to take care of themselves, and two, a way to know what's in their products and that they all are beneficial for them in their skin, so their skin can do perform at the best possible ability that it has.
Wow, that's a huge endeavor to be 18.
I I actually started when I was 16. I started this
Uh-huh.
company in 2024,
Okay.
um, because me and my mom had been struggling with eczema. And I'll say this down to the rooftops. I used to be a Vaseline girly. If I didn't have Vaseline on me, I was probably angry.
Yeah.
Vaseline was my lotion. If I didn't have none, Vaseline was my lip gloss. Vaseline was my everything. And then I had saw a video one day where they were going through all the ingredients in Vaseline, and there were more harmful ingredients in Vaseline than there weren't. And I was like, oh my God. And a lot of the other products that they have out there for eczema weren't working for me and my mom. And so I began to do research and found
Okay.
natural medicine as as a way to, one, treat the problem, but two, make sure I knew what was going in and on my body.
Mm, okay. So do you have a product in your line in your what you call it lineup? What am I gonna call your products? Uh,
You can call it a lineup.
do you have a
Um,
product for that? Do you have a product for that?
So yes, so my body butters have been, they are very potent for eczema and dry skin. I can say that. And it's not because I make the products. It's because I've seen what they can do.
Okay.
I make sure I put ingredients in there that there's benefit here, there's benefit here. So they all stack on each other. They all bring their own benefits. And it's not just like, oh yeah, you got to put this cream with that cream. No, it does what it's supposed to in that one product. So my body butters, the body butters that I have now, they're an emulsified body butter, which means they're not heavy. So they have a slight percentage of water in them, so that they're not heavy on the skin, they're not greasy, and they're infused with hibiscus as well as other herbs and plants to help one soothe the skin, remove any inflammation, help blood circulation, get rid of any dry skin. And with these body butters, you can put them on at 8 a.m. in the morning,
Mhm.
and by 1 o'clock you can still feel it. I'm 100% serious, because the ingredients that I put in there, it sits on the skin like a salve, and it slowly seeps into the skin to nourish the skin at its deepest level.
Okay, so how can somebody reach you or give them some information so we can get some orders going? People can look on your website. Come on, hey, look here, we about to plug the word. Look, you might be the next big thing on Shark Tank or something.
Look, I'm open to it. I'm open to it.
All
Um,
right,
so if you go on my Instagram,
tell them
you'll
what it is.
see, if you go on my Instagram, Molten Golden 19, you'll see some of my past products and creations, because like I said, I've been doing this for the last 2 years. You can contact me there on any social media platform. If you look up anything but skin, sometimes some of them have LLC. Like I know my Instagram has LLC and my Facebook have LLC after it. They're bare right now, but that's because I'm creating my advertisements and stuff like that. I'm bringing up my social media presence with my business. But if you go on any of those accounts, you can not only get in contact with me, but you can also place orders. You can ask me about any of my products, what they have in them. A lot of my products have turmeric in there. Turmeric has a lot of great benefits for your body, for your skin. Uh, so yeah, it just reach out to me on those, and I'll get back to you. You can also email me at anythingbutSkinLLC@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to get back with you.
I'm trying. Look, I'm trying to give you a whole infomercial.
Yeah, we got
Boom.
body butters. We got foaming body butters, which means they lather in their soap so you can take them in the shower. We have foaming sugar scrubs. We have regular sugar scrubs. Um, we have lip balms, and we're coming out with new products in the future too. We're Be on the lookout. We're coming out with a hair grease, and it
Will
work. Okay,
will
so
it give
just
me
be on the
waves?
lookout.
Will it give me waves?
Look, so a lot of my products, I test them out before I send them out. So
Uh,
I'm sending them to whoever I can to give me some feedback. And
all right.
I gave it to my people, and I'm not gonna tell you who they is, but they have been known to struggle with alopecia my whole life, and they've
Mhm.
tried multiple treatments and they did not work. And I've seen this myself. They had my product, used it for 2 weeks, and they've had more strands grow where they haven't grown in years in the last 2 weeks than I've seen in my whole entire life.
Really?
I'm so serious.
Okay. See, this the type of thing that we as a community, and I'm talking to everybody out here as a community, we need to support this young lady. We need to support. We need to, hey, stop spending money at Walmart, right? Because you're not at Walmart yet. Stop spending money at Walmart, Target. Look her up so we can get some orders going. Now
And like
you
I
gotta.
said, I do all of my research. My products are natural. And so I make sure, one, that you know what's in it and I know what's in it. I know what they do. Um, I make sure you know how to properly use them so that they're of the most optimal benefit to you.
Okay, man. Well, we know what we're gonna do is because it's hard. I'm still learning how to do this stuff, right?
It's all
But
cool. I'm learning too.
But no, but what I'm saying, I'm gonna have your information as well. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug it in the comment section.
Okay.
And even when I repost it, I'm gonna post so people can get in touch with you. Right.
Okay.
So as far as the business format, you got everything. You need any sponsors? You need what you need. You look for sponsors. What you want? Some
We
what
look
you got?
we looking for sponsors, donations, anybody that's been any mentors that are willing to teach me. We're looking for all of it. All of it. I'll take what the Lord gives me.
And
What you
that's
got,
what
I
I'm
want
saying.
it.
That's the thing, because you know what? What did you say? A closed mouth what?
Don't get fed.
Amen to that, sister. So what we try and do is we trying to feed this young lady. We want to make sure that, hey, if you're a business mentor out there, if you are a promoter, you somebody that can help with advertisement, getting setting up all your platforms properly, getting it all cohesiveness. I mean, because me, I have trouble with TikTok. I need help on TikTok. Remember, I text you, well, I said, I need some help with my TikTok, right? I'm like, I got all these songs I'm making, but I need a TikTok singer. But it ain't working right. So I'm gonna find me a TikToker, right? But this is where, as a community, with somebody of your stature, and you trying to develop yourself and create things, and it's beneficial to the community in all walks of life, that we need to get behind you and support you and do what's necessary. So definitely what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna commit myself and my podcast, and my viewers. I'm gonna commit this to saying that when I get on here, I'm gonna plug you. I'm gonna put your information up as much as humanly possible when I come online to promote your products. Might even
Thank
create,
you.
create we might create a commercial for you.
Look, I'm open to it. I'm open to it.
Yeah. See, so these are ideas that need to be researched and stepped into, so that way it can broaden the scope and broaden where you need to go at with this business.
Thank
So I mean, it's hard enough for you doing what you're doing. What's it called, biochemist?
you. Yeah, I'm a biochemistry major.
Ooh, man. So you know about the skin and all that kind of good stuff. That's that's cool. See, now we got you educated and you about building. But what else? Tell me. Okay, so now we got your business in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got a knack. You got a knack that's in my field of expertise. Yeah, man. You are a poet,
I am.
and you know it. You're a poet. Tell me about it. What is writing? What is poetry? Because we're gonna wrap up soon. But I want to get it all in, because hey, you took time out for me. Now I want to take time out for you, right?
Thank you.
So what is the poet? Tell me about poetry. When did you start writing? What does it do for you? Talk to me.
So I started writing poetry in sixth grade after I took a poetry class um, through my school. Before that, I absolutely hated poetry. I hated writing anything writing. I hated doing it, and it came from me having to write letters to my parent that was incarcerated, and so I developed this hate for anything writing. I didn't care what it was. If it was writing, I didn't want to do it in class, in school, out of school. It didn't matter. And so when I was in sixth grade, I was battling all these emotions with being in a single parent household, and then my great grandmother passing, all these emotions that I was dealing with, and I found poetry through this class, and I was able to use it as a coping mechanism for my emotions, to where when I couldn't say what I was feeling or didn't know how to articulate it, I can put it in writing, and I had a control to use different words to express what I was feeling without just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm mad." I can
Mm.
use language that illustrated what the anger looked like. And so
Woo,
that's how I got into poetry.
woo. See, that's what I'm talking about. Use language and illustrate. Let me find out you go to college. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And I did the same thing. And I started writing poetry when I was like, I would say about like 10, maybe.
Oh
With my
wow.
Somewhere around there, I think I wrote my first poem, I think, when my grandmother had passed, and it was an emotional thing. And I started dealing with it. But right now, I'm off to the races, and I'm trying. You know what? Let me tell you something, man. I feel as though, like, you ever read the joint with Tupac, The Rose That Grew from Concrete? You never
No.
read that? They even got a whole segment on it. But anyway, I'm putting myself up there in that level. You watch how it move. You watch. But
Gotcha.
as we move into this spectrum, because I almost got sidetracked. You blew my mind. You blew my mind. I almost got boom, got sidetracked. It's another thing you said, in which, hey, you know what? I'm definitely gonna bring you back on, because we need to talk, because you said you dealt with a parent or somebody that was incarcerated. Well, you're looking at it. Me. When I talk to you, you were, or you have been, you were my children. Because I was incarcerated for 13 years, right? And when you spoke to me, and I'm like, your perspective, and I have to learn as well, because hearing your perspective gave me a different insight onto what my children may have been thinking, but not able to relay it to me in a healthy manner in which I could understand. And maybe I was in a position that I wasn't seeing them like I should be seeing them or should have seen them, right?
Mhm.
So, man, if you don't mind, I mean, hey, that's something that I think that is imperative that a lot of, I would say us, men and women who've been in the system, who've been done time, have had to endure, but we really don't understand the perspective coming from your eyes and being able to see it with our blinders off. If
Mhm.
if that makes sense, because it's opened up a new dialogue for me when you said that. And I thought about it, I thought deeply about it. So I just wanted to make sure I asked you about that. And you can let me know later if we come back on and we'll have a discussion because we'll deal with that. Because I want to have you back on anyway, no matter what the discussion is. You know, you doing fine by me. But let's get let me get to something before we wrap up.
Okay.
You
Okay.
said you're a poet, right?
Yes.
What you got for me?
So I have this poem. It's never been heard before, so this is exciting for me. It's called "Under the Kitchen Sink," and it describes my relationship with God. Um, so I'm just gonna get into it, okay?
Hold on. Let me do this. Do I need to bring myself down, or you want to be able to express? Because I bring myself down, I'm gonna give you the whole platform.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, you ready? Man,
Yes.
I'm gonna take myself down. I gotta take myself down. I, 'cause
Okay.
I want to be able to hear you, right? Oh man, let me take myself down, and guess what?
Okay. As the enemy of my father's house stopped by today unannounced, he asked for a glass of water. I wish he hadn't knocked on that door. The one on the side, I left the garage door open slightly ajar. Now he's in the kitchen and my father's not home. I gave him the glass hoping it would be his last. I thought the taste was bitter, but he got sweet. I thought that it would be truly the death of me. He handed me back the glass. Smug he smirked, how crass. I hit the floor, shattered with the glass. The contaminant wasn't in the glass, but on it. I can't believe I fell for it again, if I'm honest. Crumpled to the floor, knees to my chest, arms wrapped around my legs like a residual prison. The pain I was in stayed on that floor, crumpled with the glass. At some point, I had the courage to pick up a piece. There was no reflection of me. Was I even a me that I wanted to see? He laughed at me every time he saw me. The door was still open, with no strength to get up and close it. He let himself in whenever he pleased. Father's been gone days, maybe hours. I'm still on the floor. He can't get back in because I still have his keys. I forgot to give them back. Now he's locked out and I in. Back against the counter, still in this puddle of glass, I gather courage again, trying to find the first aid kit I hid in the kitchen. I'll in bold Sharpie across gray tape, in case of blank again. Open and not but the hauntings of sin. He took my band-aids and when I hallucinated seeing Father again. Wounds bleed and I grew weary. I called Humanist and Salvatore, but they were too far away, but me not too important. The hospital is closed and the nurses are sorted among the sands of 1,000 beaches, swimming in water so clear it looks like it breathes. Surgeons cost too much. They wanted my mind just for a consultation appointment. Someone keeps knocking on the door, calling me by name. Too dehydrated to check. My service was suspended. I couldn't pay the bill when he came. He took my all. I couldn't fix it because I forgot the number I needed to call. Crawl. I crawled to the door. Father before I. Father asked me to come in. I handed him his keys. Only he know how to fix me. He cleaned the glass while I locked both doors. So that's my poem. It's called Under the Kitchen Sink.
I can only slap one hand. Great job, great.
Thank you.
Great job, and I really thank you. and I appreciate you for coming on the show. I'm gonna welcome you back anytime. I definitely want everybody to support you. We'll put your information out there, and thank you very much. You have a blessed evening, and we're gonna be talking. Okay?
Of course,
Phenomenal.
of
You
course.
guys see? Phenomenal. You guys see? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. I like people that are listening and can hear you speak. We're gonna get
Thank
that poet. We're gonna get your poetry out there as well.
you. Okay, okay. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
All right, you have yourself a good evening, and we'll be talking. Okay?
Awesome. You too.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all. I told y'all. Y'all had to listen. This young lady did an outstanding job. She spoke her truth. I'm very proud of her. Like here on the Unspoken Voices podcast, where the truth is spoken, and we give you, and your voice is heard. We give you opportunity to speak your truth. For those individuals that are out there and you want to speak your truth, hey, get in touch with me, info at the unspokenvoicespodcast.com. We want to bring you on. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to be able to address issues that people can learn from. In the meantime, until next time, y'all have a great evening and stay safe.
This has been the Unspoken Voices podcast with Chuck Ellis, where silence is broken, truth is spoken, and healing begins. So remember, your voice matters, your pain has purpose, and your story deserves to be heard. So until next time, stay connected, stay encouraged, and know that your voice is never alone.